GroovyTek.
Hi, this is Matt from GroovyTek. We started GroovyTek 5 years ago because we believed there was an opportunity for a new company to help folks from all ages become confident navigating their personal technology, smartphones, tablets, and computers. We've now conducted well over 10,000 hours of personal technology training sessions, and we are finding more and more new ways to help people learn to use their technology. Because let's face it, the big companies in Silicon Valley do not appear to be very concerned about helping people to use their products. They would rather just have us buy more and more of their products. Our culture and mission are anchored in two key words: respect and patience. I hope that any and every interaction you have with our team here at GroovyTek exemplifies both patience and respect. On behalf of GroovyTek, I thank you for your time and look forward to helping you or your loved ones navigate their personal technology journey. Thank you for participating in our GroovyTek webinar series. Our goal for the series is to directly address relevant topics with a focus on how technology can be a beneficial part of the solution. We hope that you can feel the GroovyTek approach in these webinars. We don't want to get too caught up in tech talk and would rather focus on giving you simple, relevant, and actionable information. These webinars represent an exciting way for us to share knowledge and conduct trainings virtually. The presentation you will be viewing is recorded. However, we are able to have GroovyTek trainers live during the webinar to answer any questions that you might have related to any of the topics covered. That being said, if you would like to take a topic discussed in one of the webinars a step further, please know that we have many options for you to work one-on-one with our technology trainers to address a concern or tackle a project. Again, thank you for your time. We appreciate you spending a part of your day with us. And as always, stay groovy.
Many moons ago, I started my first job out of college. On the first day, I went into the conference room for a meeting and saw all the familiar faces I'd been introduced to around the office. I walked in slowly, trying to understand the dynamics of this gathering. Most importantly, though, I was waiting for the right time to snag a blueberry muffin and a cup of coffee. I smiled and waved at everyone as I looked around the room. I thought I'd accounted for everyone when a voice suddenly came out of the middle of the table. "Good morning, everyone. I hope the weather is better than it is in here." I looked over to a coworker who explained, "That's Jim, our CEO. He's in Indiana for a meeting, so he's joining on our conference phone." I'd heard of conference phones, but I'd never seen or used one before. Over the years, conference calls became second nature when it came to connecting with colleagues, clients, and partners. At GroovyTek, we realize that people over 40 have seen some of the greatest technological advances in human history. What's occurring now is simply a consolidated version of what we've already experienced. Today we're going to talk about communication tools as we work remotely. Sure, these new technologies have fancy bells and whistles. At the end of the day, though, they're tools to help us conduct business. Just like my experience many moons ago, these new technologies will become second nature. This can happen once we find out how we can use them for our unique and individual purposes. So let's get started. Video conferencing. Decades ago, on TV shows like Star Trek, we watched fictional technology on television that's now a reality. It's being used to communicate across continents or even with someone in another room. In both cases, it might be the only way we can connect. Video conferencing is a great tool to stay connected while working remotely. It should always be in your arsenal of communication tools. Keep in mind, though, that video conferencing technologies let you do much more than you might expect. While yes, you can do simple voice calls, you can also share the screen of your computer or mobile device, share files and documents, and instant message someone. Most importantly, you are able to connect groups of people regardless of their geographical location. Today we will talk about the 3 most popular video conferencing technologies. Before you decide which one is right for you, though, keep these things in mind. You probably have favorite technologies that you feel comfortable with. Maybe you hate working on the tiny screen of your smartphone, but love working on your MacBook. Or you're very familiar with using Google Hangouts and have never tried alternatives such as Skype or Zoom. However, the people you are connecting with may feel comfortable with different technology. Being familiar with different applications and devices will make your skill set more versatile. That will certainly help you connect with people you need to do business with. When you're doing business, it's also crucial to be fluent enough in technology to walk someone else through it. Have you ever been on a Skype call where someone couldn't figure out how to mute their microphone, share their screen, or share a file? We've all been there, but it's a hang-up for everyone else on the call. Rather than handling the business of the meeting, you have to stop and play tech support. But if you are familiar with the technology being used, you can walk someone on the other end through the setup process. Before you start integrating new technology into your work life, be sure to familiarize yourself so you can walk others through all the different scenarios. Of course, there might be a steep learning curve. I was talking to a friend, and he was sharing his newfound experiences with video conferencing. He said, "I really enjoy talking to people face-to-face, and I'm pretty personable, but doing video conferencing still takes some getting used to." He continued, "I had my first Zoom meeting and the lady I was talking with wasn't looking at the camera. She had her camera off to the left and her computer monitor to the right. Even though she was looking at my video on her monitor, she wasn't looking at the camera. I said, 'I'll wait for you to finish what you're doing and then I'll continue.' Finally, she told me that she was paying attention, but her monitor and camera were in 2 different places. I felt so embarrassed." I shook my head. That wouldn't have occurred to me either. He was right. Video conferencing does take some getting used to. While we were talking about video conferencing, it's worthwhile to revisit microphone and camera setup. We covered it in a previous session, but it's a good idea to brush up on it, since it's critical for the technologies we'll be covering in this presentation. Microphone and camera. One of the most critical elements of working from home is communication. If you worked in an office before, you might be used to impromptu meetings where everyone can get on track about what they're supposed to do. When you're working from home, you have to be able to conduct and participate in meetings with coworkers and clients. In order to maintain a professional persona, you don't want to be the person holding everyone up. What if you're the person trying to figure out how to log on, or how to mute their microphone when the CEO is talking about new priorities or initiatives? Since video conferences are a primary element of working from home, it's best to be well prepared. That being said, most situations won't require you to purchase special equipment. It's important to ensure that your setup is functional, and that starts with the equipment you already have. For most meetings, the first step is checking your microphone. Most devices, laptops, iMacs, smartphones, tablets, have a camera and microphone built into them. If you have one of those devices, you're set. However, most desktop computers don't come with that equipment. If you do own a desktop, you should purchase a camera and a microphone. You don't need fancy, expensive equipment either. Usually, you can get away with spending $50 for a decent setup. Whether you have a device that comes with a camera and a microphone, or you just purchased equipment, do a test run. It's important to ensure they work before you start important meetings. You can't just expect it to work. Instead, take 10 minutes before your meeting and make sure you're good to go. Those 10 minutes of preparation can lead to peace of mind when asked to join a meeting or an impromptu conference call from your home. Another important topic to brush up on is internet bandwidth. Remember, video conferencing requires more bandwidth than sending an email or browsing the internet. Internet bandwidth. Let's face it, nothing you do at home matters unless you can share it with colleagues or clients. That being said, sharing your work requires a great internet connection. That's something you might take for granted when you're working at a traditional office space. You might not have experienced internet connection issues from home before. Then again, there are others in your household who are using the same connection at the same time you are. If they are working, streaming Netflix, or video chatting while you're also working from home, those activities affect the bandwidth you have. To proactively get ahead of this situation, we recommend you call your internet provider and ask about upload and download speeds. Explain that everyone in your house is using the internet now and ask if upgrading would be beneficial. Their job, of course, is to get you to upgrade. Listen carefully and be mindful of what's right for you and anyone you're living with. We will be discussing the 3 most popular video conferencing technologies and platforms today: GoToMeeting, Zoom, Google Suite, Google Hangouts, and Google Meet. Here's a GroovyTek tip. Each of these platforms has the capability for participants to call a dial-up line to join the meeting. I've been caught in traffic or running late after a meeting that ran long, so I was unable to be at my computer when the video conference call started. In that case, if you or another participant can't join the video conference meeting, the dial-in feature is a good way for everyone to participate. GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting was founded in 2004 and is developed by LogMeIn. GoToMeeting is an online meeting software that allows desktop sharing, chat, and video conferencing. LogMeIn works on all platforms and devices. This means no matter what computer or device you have, LogMeIn will work on your system. GoToMeeting has several plans depending on your needs. They have free, professional, business, and enterprise plans. We always recommend you start out with the free plan until you see what your needs are. GoToMeeting has a lot of features that can make online meetings productive. GoToMeeting will let you record your meetings, so you can revisit them or share them with someone who is not able to attend. It has drawing tools so you can doodle an idea or a concept quickly, which I have found comes in handy. You can schedule a meeting within the program and it will send invites as well as a meeting link to participants. They have made it extremely easy to share your screen, and the meeting presenter controls make presentations easy to conduct. As I mentioned, LogMeIn has a call-in feature so you can dial in. They also have mobile conferencing, which allows you to be on your mobile device and conduct meetings. Mobile conferencing, however, has limitations. This is because it doesn't have all the tools available that you would on your computer. From a security perspective, you can rest easy. All of the meetings are encrypted. This means that all your meetings are as safe and private as they can be. Zoom. Have you heard of Zoom lately? Due to a sharp spike in video conferencing popularity, it seems that everyone is using Zoom. Grandparents can use it to see their grandkids on video, family members overseas can visit each other, and colleagues can host productive meetings over video. Zoom was founded in 2011 and is developed by Zoom Video Communications. Zoom provides video, telephone, and online chat services through a cloud-based peer-to-peer software platform. It is used for teleconferencing, telecommuting, distance learning, and social relations. Zoom works on all platforms and devices. This means no matter what computer or device you have, Zoom will work on your system. Zoom has several plans depending on your needs. They have free, pro, business, and enterprise plans. We always recommend you start out with the free plan until you see what your needs are. Unlike other companies, Zoom has set out to be the leader in video telephony solutions. Zoom's infrastructure allows it to work with large companies like Uber, Ticketmaster, Nasdaq, Western Union, Logitech, Pandora, and others. Zoom's easy setup and accessibility makes it a perfect solution for any size of business. It's even crossed over for personal and family use in recent times. Their solutions center around HD video and video chat, video webinars, cloud-based phone systems, and seamless integration with other popular softwares such as Slack, Gmail, and Salesforce. From a security perspective, Zoom has had some vulnerability issues that have been reported. There are larger issues Zoom is addressing, but here are 5 things you can do to protect yourself while using Zoom. Number 1. Only join meetings that you're sure of. Not sure about that sketchy link that someone emailed you? Did you find it on an online forum or in a chat room? If so, it might be wise to get someone else to check it out. Number 2. Don't share your screen. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule. Maybe you're presenting in a meeting and want to share what you've been working on. But it's worth it to take the time to familiarize yourself with the settings. That way, you don't accidentally share your screen. Number 3. Don't give out your Zoom password to anyone. As a general rule, it's much safer to keep your passwords to yourself. Number 4. Don't publicize your meeting link. Don't just post the link on Facebook or some other social media platform. Instead, try texting or emailing it to a specific group of people. Number 5. Be aware of your camera and microphone. Are they on or off? Keeping an eye on those settings will help you avoid any issues. Google Suite. Do you use Gmail? What about Google Docs or Google Sheets? If you've used any of these products, then you are familiar with Google Suite. That name is the header for all of Google's software. Google Suite encompasses Google's cloud computing, productivity, collaboration tools, software, and products developed by Google Cloud. It was first launched by Google in 2006. What makes this solution unique from any other service we've talked about is Google's scope. It includes Gmail, email capabilities, Docs, word processing, spreadsheets and presentations, Drive, cloud storage and sharing, Calendar, and Google Meet. All these services fall under the Google Suite umbrella. Because they're from the same provider, they're made to interact seamlessly with each other. Since these products provide one integrated solution, they all talk to each other and are very easy to use. Allow me to give you an example. You might use AOL as your email provider. But to write up important documents, you might be using Microsoft Word. You still have to keep track of what you're doing and present it to others. For those needs, it might make sense to use Excel and PowerPoint. To store and share your projects, Dropbox might seem like the ideal solution. To connect with others over video conferencing, Zoom is a great idea. These are all wildly different applications, though. Getting all of them to work seamlessly is impossible, and it's time-consuming to try to get all of them to play well together. Google Suite has solutions for all of those needs. That's what makes it superior to most other services. It works seamlessly. For example, you might need to set up a video conference. But at that conference, you'll need to present something you've been working on. So everyone can follow along. Wouldn't it be easier if you also sent a file along? In Google Suite, you can do all those things. You'll need to set up a Google Hangout. That way, everyone can access the video conference and add it to their Google Calendar so they don't forget. You can share your screen in Hangouts too. When you create that Google Calendar event, you can copy and paste the link to your file in the comments box for scheduling the meeting. In one easy step, you've handled everything that you needed during that meeting. Video conferencing plays well with Google Suite too. Google Hangouts and Google Meet are the equivalents of GoToMeeting and Zoom. Google Hangouts is free, while Google Meet is a paid, business-oriented service. Just like GoToMeeting and Zoom, one is paid for and one is free. There are different tiers of plans. Google Hangouts is free. Then plans progress through Basic, Business, and Enterprise. At the expense of sounding like a broken record, always take advantage of the free plan. After you've used the service, become familiar with it, and know what level of service you need, you'll be able to make an informed decision. Google Suite has been a great resource for some of the world's largest companies. This includes Whirlpool, ASICS, HP, and Salesforce. They use Google Suite to keep their businesses running smoothly and staying ahead of the competition. From a security standpoint, Google Suite is one of the most secure infrastructures on the market. When it comes to security, they're always ahead of the curve. They ensure that their safety measures are there when you interact with their software, which means Google Suite is compliant with the strictest security standards in the industry. In conclusion, there are many factors to consider when deciding what technology is right for you. In order to make your skill set more versatile and to help you make an informed decision, we recommend you familiarize yourself with each of these applications. Once you've experimented with all of them, you might decide one is worth paying for. Otherwise, you might be able to get by with the free plans. Remember, being knowledgeable about these platforms will make your life so much easier. If you're the one hosting the meeting, you can choose the application. But if someone else is hosting, then you can easily participate in whatever format they choose without any issues. As long as you check your camera, microphone, and internet bandwidth before you host or participate in any video conferences, you're good to go. Now, we're living in the days that science fiction only dreamed about. Using computers? Talking to people across the continent? Once upon a time, that was something you could only dream about. It's been an interesting ride. Most of us have been able to see inventions we saw on TV decades ago become a reality. Remember the holodeck from Star Trek? It could simulate objects and people by materializing images that looked real. This holomatter could manipulate the environment to keep people from running into real objects in the real world while they were absorbed with the holodeck. You could virtually visit a family member or be on your home planet for a barbecue. That sort of thing exists now. We are really living in a sci-fi universe. But that's a topic for another session. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll now move on to the question and answer portion of the session.
Hello again. This is Matt with GroovyTek. Thank you for attending this webinar. We greatly appreciate your time. Please know that we are here to assist you in any way we can, and we will be sending you follow-up materials related to the topics covered, which people tend to find quite handy. If you would like to work one-on-one with a technology trainer, simply call our office and our customer care team will be able to help you with that process. Thank you again for your time today, and as always, stay groovy.
Questions and answers. How can I access Google Calendar? Log into your Gmail account. In the upper right corner, you'll see a 3x3 grid of dots. Click on it, and a drop-down menu will appear. You'll see an icon for Google Calendar. Click or tap on that icon, and Google Calendar will appear. Does Google Meet have drawing tools? There are no built-in drawing tools on Google Meet. How do I share my screen on a Hangouts call? In the lower right-hand corner, you'll see an option that says Present Now. Click on it. A pop-up window will appear, and you can select which window or tab you want to share. Once you select it and click OK, you'll be sharing your screen with all the other call participants. How do I install an external webcam? Most external cameras come with a USB cord. Plug it into the USB port on the side of your device and mount it on the top middle of your screen where a webcam is traditionally located. Once it's positioned properly, you can enable permissions and you'll be ready to go. Can I work on Google Docs offline? It's always best to work with an internet connection because Google Docs is a cloud-based application. If you need to work offline, though, you can. While you're still connected to Wi-Fi, go to the upper left-hand corner and click File. Then, click Make Available Offline. A pop-up window will appear asking you to confirm your choice. Click Turn On, and you're ready to go.